Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Edge, because life just doesn't have to be mediocre. And joining me is someone who isn't mediocre. She is Dr. Susan Nash. Hey, Susan, how are you today?
Hello, I'm great. I'm thrilled to be here. It's a great day.
Windy
yesterday, calm today.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're going to run our intro, and then we will introduce our great guest. Here we go. And we are back. Susan, would you like to do the honors today?
I'm excited to do this. We have a great guest, Dr. Janette Habashi. She is one of the most inspiring people I know, professor at the University of Oklahoma. Janette, welcome.
Thank you. You're the most inspiring person.
It's funny. Well, I'm just so thrilled with what you're doing. And when we first met, you were working on a project that helps women become independent and self-supporting by using their talents to create educational toys. And I thought it'd be really interesting to talk if you talked about that project and then also about your new projects.
We're actually, last year we got our 510c3. We're now officially non-profit. And we started as a small grassroots from students at the university. We started fundraising for after-school program for refugee children in the West Bank. And after a few years, we realized it's not going to be sustainable. People will give you $20, $40, but after a while, they want the project to move ahead with the new ideas. So we thought about letting the women themselves, the mother themselves, creating the educational toys that we could market and sell in the US. So we started thinking about the appropriate toys, what kind of toys we're going to do, what age, and we wanted to make the toys environmentally friendly. So we could market it as green toys. We started producing. I had to learn new skills. I had to learn something about business because I had no clue what I'm doing. The university also helped me in learning how to move the project from a charity-like to a business-like project. So we hired our first group of women. We tried to look for a toy designer in the West Bank, but we don't have toy designers. So we looked for someone who has any experience with design. So we selected a designer. She was specialized in interior design, which she took a course in interior design. So she helped us with that project. We started producing our first prototype with the help of UNRWA, which is responsible for refugee in the West Bank, the United Nations agent. And now we would say we're in a better production. We're in a better stage in production of the toys. So now we have our 510c. We know who's our market. We have a market strategy. We have a brand. Look at me, I'm talking business. Ask me 3 years ago, I had no clue what I'm doing.
I'm super impressed.
I am impressed myself. So what I'm doing is, this is what's happening. So when we got our 510c, what's cool about the project, people talk about the project and they will call you and say, you have to meet this person. So we're meeting people at the same time. So now we know what we're doing. We know that we have to produce the toy not in 26 hours. One toy used to take 26 hours because we want it embroidered. It looks beautiful. The colors are beautiful. Now we have to cut it down. Like another toy used to take 15 hours. you know, and we could not, with the project cannot be sustainable in that term. So we had to rethink about production, our toys. So while we're doing all of these things, people are talking about us, and I had to meet other people. So, you know, and we hired Kyla Petter. She's a PATER to help me with marketing and rethinking the whole project. So through her, I met other people, and I met her through other people at the same time. So it's all a network that it's crazy. But the cool thing about it is that if somebody asks you to go and meet this person, I think you should go and meet him. You know, it doesn't matter if it's something coming out of him or not, because you will learn something. So what happened was last year.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool about it? Last year, we wanted to market ourselves as fair trade. We're completing our project. And I had to meet a person in Chicago who put me in touch with a person who was interested to help refugee children in Jordan, Syrian refugees. So now we're working with them to produce toys so they could donate to refugee camp in Jordan. Oh, there's another thing. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I just think it's so exciting, and I want to describe some of the toys that I saw that I really enjoyed. First of all, I love the alphabet toys. You've created, they're made with felt, and they're so tactile and so satisfying, and they're bright colors, and you have alphabets that have Velcro, and the characters help children learn the alphabet, and it's English or, well, Roman alphabet as well as Arabic. And they're so cool, and they're just so wonderful. And I was wondering how those, like, of the projects that you have, which ones are still doing really well?
Actually, the letters are going very well, because we have two toys. We have two toys with different forms of production. We have toys that are letters that we stuff them, and there's toys that are aesthetic leather. And I think these are so popular. We're now doing puzzle toys also. We're improving our production. We're trying to get new toys. Calendar we're doing is popular also, but people are saying it's quite expensive. I don't know if you could share the toy online. I'm not sure we could share that, but I think the letters, the blocks are going very fast. This is the calendar. This is the colorful toy that takes 26 hours. The embroidery, the handwork, and it's full. It's beautiful. This is one of my favorites. And actually, you got one, Susan.
Yeah, I like about it. What I like about it is that you can tell the little girl can pick up and pull off the different pieces and rearrange them, and they're just satisfying in terms of tactile, sensory perception and stimulation, but they're also very decorative, and they're so cheerful and fun, and they encourage interaction.
That's true. My friend, she bought one for her nephew, and before he goes to bed, he set his calendar up, but he doesn't change the weather. He lives in Chicago, and he wakes up in the morning and he changed the weather. So cute.
Totally cute.
Yeah, so no, I think they're doing wonderful job, the women, and we're starting also a new line. You know, we've been asking for advice on how we could capitalize the skills of the women, and everybody is saying we have to venture out, because children have a lot of toys, and they like it, and our target group of buying it is usually the mother or the grandmother mainly, or the aunts. So we're trying to expand our target group. So, you know, if you don't want to buy for your children, or you don't have children, you want to buy for yourself. So trying to produce items targeting women, and hopefully we're going to produce items targeting men. So we want to have children line, women line, and men line in future.
Oh, that's really wonderful. So what kind of new lines? Will they be toys, or will you have other things?
Actually, we're doing shoes.
Really?
We're doing shoes and bracelets. These are the shoes. They are handmade shoes, embroidered handmade. And every design is named after a Middle East dessert. So we want, like, this is ghaibe. This is flat. We're doing it ghaibe. It's a dessert, Middle East dessert.
Do you have baklava?
We have baklava. If we go back, I'll show you the baklava. Rick, could you like go back? I don't know how you could go back with the images. There's the baklava is the red one on your right. The red
and the cute.
Yeah, we have them flat, 3 inches, 1 inches, and I could tell you about the quality of sole and the whole thing. I'm learning even about like small details. I had to learn it. So, but the cool thing is that we're having different colors at the same time, because not everybody likes, you know, red and green. So we're trying to create neutral colors. So we're in sample development also. But we made the first order for these shoes. Like, people have made their orders already. They're
going to become addicted, like they have with Tom's shoes. I work with a woman who has, I think she won't really tell me, but I've counted at least 50 pairs of Tom's shoes that she wears. She loves them.
So I think you should introduce her to our product.
I think exactly.
Yeah, and it's see, this is the cool thing, is that there's a Pakistani woman is doing similar things. She's using the traditional artifact to put it on shoes. You know, people usually are reluctant, especially in the Middle East, to use embroidery to put them on the shoes. You know, at the beginning, when I started the project, everybody said, no, you cannot put that kind of art on shoes. There was a huge resistance. And I've said, but how people are going to know about our tradition, our art, if we don't introduce it in a new way? You know, we're stuck with a small, narrow idea how we could use the Palestinian embroidery, which is cushions, shawl, and dresses, you know, but they are so heavy to wear, you know, so not everybody could wear it, and you cannot wear it every day. So we were trying to think about a way that we could use it every day, and people could appreciate the artwork. Shoes were the good idea.
Now, Janette, how did you come up with the name of the foundation or the org?
Actually, it was a student proposal. We talked about it with the students, and I said, the one who initially helped me. And she came one day, her name is Samantha, and she said, I was driving, and I think it should be child kaful, and every child should have opportunities. Their life should be full with opportunities. That's why I think we should call it child's kaful. We're hoping that we're providing that opportunity. And initially, we started by providing the educational programs, but we feel the impact is higher if we hire the mothers, and they will create a income, long-term income, so their children will have more opportunities. that's why we're changing the approach. But eventually, when we become sustainable, the profit will create the educational programs back for the children. So we want to, it's a win-win situation. We're hiring the women, then we're doing the educational project.
So how many women are working there now?
We have around, okay, we're dividing them in a different way. So this is my skills, the business one. So we're training a group of women where we have a core staff, core artisans, and there's a group of artisans don't want to come to the center. They want to work from home, and it's on a part-time basis. So we have 3. So the number is different. I cannot tell you the whole number because not all of them, they come to the center. And we have trained group which we want to hire in the future. And we have part-time who wants to work from home. So the core is around 9 women. We trained almost 40-something, 43 if I'm exact, maybe around 40. And we have a group of part-time, I don't exactly know the number. But I talked with the core women this morning. I talked with them about the production, how we could move ahead with, modifying production. So the core is 9, and we're hoping to employ our group that they are trained. That's the plan.
Oh, that's great. It's growing.
Actually, it's growing. Actually, somebody have proposed, and I think there's another direction we're hoping to go with, is to create a consortium. There is a lot of women groups in the West Bank and the Middle East, is to work with them and help them in new designs and help them in marketing, rather than training ourselves. There is already a group of women who are trained and they're looking for marketing their product. So we're still not sure how to go about it. I think we're in an advantaged position since we're in the US and we're familiar with the trend and the marketing. We could access the market here. Women in the West Bank and the Middle East, they cannot access the market. So we'll be the bridge for them. So we don't know if it's a good idea to train more women and hire more women, or go and work with a women group who are established and market, work with them in creating designs and market the product. We're still we don't know which direction we want to go to.
That's a little bit challenging because you're really looking at 2 different types of things. One is being kind of a distribution network for all kinds of women's things, where it's a little bit harder to maintain your brand and your brand identity if you're doing that, but you benefit a lot of people if you can develop a market for them and their product is consistent. That on the other hand, if you have your own line, then you can always focus on that, but then you're kind of limited. At this point, how do you market them in the United States?
We actually, I've learned also something. There is actually a website that provides, if you put the zip code, you get all of the shows in that area. We go to shows, we go and, buy a table or these things. We sell online. We have an account on Amazon. We have an account on eBay. We're trying to sell with stores. We have some stores who are carrying our products. Actually, yesterday there was a store in Tennessee who wants to buy our product. There is a store in Kentucky wants to buy our product. We have a store in DC who's buying our product. So we're knocking on every opportunity. Anybody who's interested, we're going to say, yes. We have also in Charleston, North Carolina, a store. We're selling our product. So we're going multiple ways. We're going online, store, shows.
Nice.
Yeah, we're trying our best. we're learning actually, because I think until we establish our brand, we have to continue doing this way.
Mm-hmm. So, Rick, here in California, do you see much in the way of free trade, women's crafts or things like that in some of the stores?
I actually know almost nothing about women's stores and free trade. I'm useless on that.
You don't have a swimsuit collection?
I find it fascinating. I think what you're doing is incredible, but I don't know much about it.
Do you want to learn?
Yeah.
Do you want to learn? Do you want to go and do a search for us in California? Actually, there are a few of them.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's amazing how you're starting the network and how you're growing it. So your business practices paid off, didn't they?
Oh, you're telling me. I'm willing, like someone, like me and Kylie, I wish she was with us. We were doing necklaces, okay, embroidered necklaces, and we spent hours discussing about the sheen. She would say no, I would say yes. It's like, it takes yes. And we did, and I think I voted for her choice. She knows better than me. This is embroidery, handmade. It's backed by leather, genuine leather. It's a beautiful piece.
Well, you know, I am convinced of one thing, and as I'm watching this, it convinces me even more. I think if the mothers ran the world, we would have a much better world. But that's just my opinion.
I think if women, you know, who don't have, I think women will do a fabulous job. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Different world.
Yes. You see, but the whole idea is like, this is my problem, is that, especially with the U.S. election, now they're putting more women. Okay, does that mean it's going to be a better world, or they're like, they have to behave as men so they could get elected?
Right.
It's
well, we have more women. One's a pathological liar, and the other one is a business person who will probably say whatever too. So I'm not sure if in this case having women is a good thing or not, but we'll see.
Suzanne.
Well, yes.
Yes. We're very blunt here.
Well, okay, here's my view of having more women in politics. I think we need to have as many different types of women as possible in politics. And right now it's sort of self-selected that the ones who are survivors and who have a lot of ambition make it. But I think that we have to combat a lot of stereotypes and a lot of facile labeling. I think some of the problem.
I think actually, as long as you have somebody who's qualified, honest would be a nice trait, and have good leadership skills, it doesn't really matter if it's a man or a woman, as long as they're qualified, honest, and have good leadership skills, know how to get along with people, compromise, and make things happen. Beyond that, I don't think that many people care if it's a woman or a guy. There are some, but
you live in California, Rick?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually another dimension out here, so it's very different.
I think I do believe to make that change, you have to adopt the quota system. I don't believe it doesn't matter. I believe even if we had, like, look in Sweden and Norway, like they have a quota, 50% of their elective should be women. Okay, the EU made a demand during the election, during the Palestinian election, that one third of the elected should be female, which I was, in local election, and which I think we would not have elected women if we didn't have a quota. It's bad, but I think you need to change the mindset and not changing reality, waiting for reality to happen. It will become impossible to change the mindset. So it's hard to say I'm for a good man. You know, if I had a choice, a good man or a woman who's like power hungry, I will go for the good man. But I still want women as a, you know, as part of the power structure.
I think that's an interesting concept to have parity. If you have 50% of your population are women and 50% men, then have 50-50. Or if you have 30% men and 70% women, have an equal. It's an interesting concept.
It's interesting.
I've worked in situations where it's almost all women. The university where I was before, University of Oklahoma, was mainly women because the dominant programs were nursing. And before that, I've been in male-dominated industries. I really didn't see any difference. So I think the idea that women are inherently different in terms of their management strategies is not as relevant as the cultural matrix and the context. But
yeah, I think men and women will never be equal. Nobody's really equal. I think they'll be different, and it's a good difference. And I don't really like the quota idea because quotas also can lead to mediocrity in many cases, or people who work the quotas for their good, but not for anybody else's good. So I'm not crazy about quotas. I'd like to see term limits and get rid of people after maybe 1 or 2 terms and start over, because then you don't have the issues with too many men, too many women. You get rid of the power problem, which exists with any government or anybody who can get reelected 100 times. It causes a lot of grief. And that's where, for example, in the U.S.
So then if you have a term limit, then they're in there for a year. They just steal as fast as they can. That's
another possibility. But the thing is, at least you get rid of them more quickly. Yes, they steal, but there should be some controls in place to stop that. And of course, other things like getting rid of lobbyists and all that kind of stuff. That would be nice too, but that would be a perfect world.
Yes. I want to respond to Susan's proposal, which is saying that there's no difference in management between females and males. I would agree, because I think women are trained to manage as male. Maybe that's why one reason that you cannot see the difference.
That's a very good point.
And even the business, you know, the way I'm thinking about the business, I think if I was trained by not a male model, maybe I would run it differently. So I'm not sure about it. We're managing the same. I think we're managing the same because we're trained by the same paradigm.
Okay? Excellent point. That's really insightful.
Well, also, take a step back. In business, there are only so many ways you can run anything. The leadership style is where you'll see the differences, and there aren't that many leadership styles either. You could have a military leadership style, which is command and control. That doesn't work well in business. Or you could have a style of somebody being more dictatorial in business. We see that in big companies all the time. That doesn't always work well either, because it all depends on the people underneath working their way up. Will they have opportunities? Will they make it there? I've worked in a lot of large companies throughout the years, and women were just as prevalent as men, at least here. And they were just as good, and they were just as bad as men. So left to their own devices, I think when everybody's trying to meet a business need, they'll either be good or bad, maybe in between. And it doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. They're all going to bring their strengths, their failures, and whatever capacity they have to make the enterprise either grow or collapse. And so that's why I don't care that much about the sexes, who's what or who's what. And in our confused world, who knows who's who anymore? But, you know, in essence, I think if we're focused on what the company or organization is trying to produce and not worry too much about a person's sex or a person's religion or a person's whatever, I think we'll find that more people get along than not. And I'm not sure a female style or a male style is better. I think they're both different. And you're right, Janette, when you said that women are trained to be men and men are trained to be women nowadays. So between the two of them, there's so much confusion. I'm not sure anybody's winning. Just my opinion.
Well, it's so fascinating because I keep thinking about, okay, the idea of mission-driven, product-driven is completely different than, say, a concept of, say, a different culture that's about perpetuating continuity and sustainability instead of constant growth. And so that's kind of an interesting perspective, I think, just even looking at cultural differences and different models. It would be interesting to explore different types of approaches, especially as companies try to reorganize or organizations need to reorganize. So try something that instead of output or mission driven is something more about creating a good environment and just see what happens.
And Janette, what I love about what you're doing, Janette, is how you took yourself. Like you said, you didn't have a lot of business experience, and you made it happen, and you're making it happen. And you're making it happen in a sector of our population which is often ignored, which is children, which is, you know, the future of our society, any society. So to you, I just say congratulations and kudos for doing something that can hopefully make a difference. And not only in the growth of a child and their happiness and the way they see the world, but in doing something that maybe will help a lot more people along the way. So I think you're doing a good thing, a wonderful thing.
I agree with that. And I also would like to say that it inspires me because I see the pertinacity, the enthusiasm, the willingness to be open to ideas and just completely trying it and going for it. And it's inspiring in every culture, but especially in seeing the difficulties and how you're overcoming them. I love it.
I have to say, I have to give thanks and gratitude to a lot of people who helped me. It's not like, you know, I done it on my own. There's a lot of people who helped me. My students were one of them. I have a lot of, you know, friends. You know, Susan knows about it. She's been working with me, you know, about trying to market it. She put me in touch with a lot of people. So I don't think I've done it on my own, but one thing I've learned is you cannot do that kind of work if you're not willing to learn something new, not be defensive, be persistent and flexible at the same time. You know, somebody tells you this is wrong, you should accept it. You should not take it personal. You know, the goal is the project. It's not you as a person. So.
And I forgot to say that humility is also a very good virtue. So.
Yes, I agree. And it's Janette, fun and it's a privilege.
Janette, where can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more? And can they go to your website? Is that a good place?
Yes, they can go to the website. And I think all of the information is there. charlescupful.org. I think there is emails down there and phone numbers. And we're very good at answering our emails and phone calls.
That's great. Well, we are at the end of our time. We'd love to have you back on in the future and tell us how it's going, what progress you've made, and how you're growing the whole business idea and the organization. I think that'd be really fun to hear about it.
Excellent. Actually, could I say something? We're starting a Kickstarter after Thanksgiving. Not a Kickstarter. It's on Indiegogo. It's not, and would love people to look at it because we're putting new products for the campaign, for the fundraising campaign.
Great. That sounds good. Actually, if you can send me an email with the address of the Kickstarter, we'll put that in the show notes.
Oh, wonderful. I would love that.
So that way it'll be some more resources that we'll have your website and the Kickstarter. Actually, is the Kickstarter on your website?
No, not yet. We're
not
doing
yet. Okay.
it. Not yet.
So we'll put your website up.
Right?
And
Indiegogo. It's Indiegogo. Yes.
Indiegogo. Okay, sure. So just send me the URL to the Indiegogo, and we'll put that in the show notes.
Thank you. Thank you. It was nice meeting you, Rick, and I'll see you soon, Susan.
Perfect. Thank you, Janette. This was fantastic.
And for all you people watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Give us your feedback. And if you want to get a hold of Janette, just send a note there or send her a note directly from her website. And I'm sure she'll get back in touch with you. For everyone else, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. Thank you, Janette.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.